That's right, Gur, and I should not have unmuted while I was coughing, but we have got more Tetris with a Classic Tetris League Division 5B matchup between Maxx and VasCo. Because after all, can there be more Tetris than you can handle? I don't think so. There's definitely not more Tetris than I can handle. Let's have a look at the division table. Alright, so we can see VasCo currently in 8th place. Played 5 of her matches, won 1 of them, lost 4 of them. Currently pretty much no chance of relegation here. So looking to make that pretty much no chance into no chance whatsoever. We've got Maxx as well, played 6 of his 9, hey now, matches, won 2 of them, lost 4 of them. Pretty much no chance of promotion or relegation, so looking to get a bit of elo if I were Maxx. We're still currently waiting on Maxx to go live, but to be fair, I am early. So, how is everyone? How are we doing? What's going on? Who here has seen CT UK? Well, sorry, AIE Live, CT UK, and then CT DAS. So much Tetris. 5 full days of Tetris. But do you know what? It was good. It was a good week. It's been a very good week for Tetris. We have been spoiled, really. But the big in-person tournaments have unfortunately ended for the moment, although there are going to be more regionals somewhere. Hang on, let me have a look at the CTWC calendar events. Let's see. While we wait for Maxx to be here. Okay, so literally in a week, we have the CTWC Vietnam regional, which happens from August 10th to August 16th. Jesus, that is a long event. Directly after that, it's Minneapolis, then it's Cologne in Germany, then Colombia, then Hartford, Spain, William. It is all Tetris, all happening all year from January to November, nothing in December. Because who wants Tetris in December? It's been nice on your time zone to wake up to the action. Yeah, this is what I like about CTUK is you can see which Americans get up for it and which just kind of don't. Where is Maxx? He was online. I'm gonna give him a message, I think. Okay. And now he's offline. Ladder League with me and Teto was a great kickoff. Oh, you saw that. that was truly, that was my favorite match. Of the day. Really funny banter in the room. Yeah, it was great. Haha, there we go. We got Maxx. We got VasCo. We can get it kicked off. I think my favorite thing was having that many commentators. And also the fact that I truly did not give a shit about what was going to go down. Let's see. Right, let's get a seed. Your seed for this set of matches is 4168 Charlie Foxtrot. See, while I'm waiting for things to kind of happen and shit to start, I might as well promote myself. I have affiliate. So, you know, you want to send some bits my way, that is very appreciated. If you would like to subscribe to not get ads, also very appreciated. Although, if you would prefer not to give money to Jeff Bezos, which I perfectly understand, I also have a Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/AliceFern. Maxx is here, but not in chat. Oh, no, he's here. Okay, great. Okay, great. All right, both players on the correct seed. Both players ready. Let's get them counted down for game number 1 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And let's introduce our players on the left-hand side. We've got Maxx, a DAS player from the United States of America. And on the right-hand side, we've got VasCo, a roller from the Russian Federation. She debuted back in... Let's do this. Back in December of 2023. Oh, hang on. Wait, no. She's in a little bit of trouble here. Gets the long bar for the Tetris, but it's now going to be building a little bit high. Could either opt to burn this down or build for Dirty Tetrises. Let's see what she does. In the meantime, I'm going to continue talking about her. She's got a personal best of 1.2 million. Has never faced off against Maxx, but is favored to win by Elo. 70.2%. And also we've got Maxx, who debuted in... Hang on, January, February, March of 2025, so last year. has a personal best of 1 million. And yeah, let's see how these players fare. Let's do an early score check. We've got Maxx currently with 118,000 points, VasCo with 107. So pretty tight game early on. VasCo is ahead in lines slightly, so does have a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to pace. And of course, going for the left well is VasCo, which is something that I find incredibly entertaining about her gameplay, is the left well. Hello, Wilson! Welcome in. Hope you're having a good time. I hope you're recovering from CT DAS and CT UK. It's been a long week for you, I bet. So I appreciate you coming to say hi. That was something. Truly, truly was something. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, VasCo has pulled ahead quite considerably, currently at 247 to Maxx's 199. It's a little bit of a tuck setup. Beautiful with that J piece. Oh yeah, you were fantastic on comms. Fantastic, it was great. I had the stream muted for like most of it. But the little bits of your comms that I caught were great. Don't take it personally, I didn't mute it because of you or any of the other commentators. I was just doing other stuff. And stuff that I can't really do while listening to people talk, so... Alright, let's see. Both players are past the halfway point. VasCo holding on to this about 1 Tetris lead, 329 for her, 297 for Maxx. Clean stack, both players. I mean, this is what you want to see from a CTL Div 5 matchup. You know, both players just really competent with the game, and we're really seeing that on display here. It's great to see. It's great to see competent, basic gameplay. Although on VasCo's side, a little bit unorthodox. You know, you don't see left well, and you don't see people intentionally going for left well. Like there's been a couple of times, like right now, she could have gone for a well transfer back over right, but is sticking with her guns, and you've got to respect that. Let's see. VasCo ahead in lines, so does have a little bit of a pace disadvantage over Maxx, who is currently at 423 to VasCo's 440. As we approach the transition here in about 10 to 20 lines. Maxx is long bar dependent now in the center, gets a long bar to fill it in, but parity is looking a little bit scuffed, but is getting some good pieces to sort that out, and is going to get back clean. Get a Tetris as a reward for his efforts. VasCo's board looking a little spicy, getting a little bit high, needs a long bar, gets it, but it's still very high, especially for 126 lines when transition is right around the corner. One more Tetris will take her there, or 2-burn line. She's going to transition with 498. Needs something over to the right. Isn't really getting favorable pieces, and is going to top out with 499, giving game number 1 to Maxx, currently at 505. Oop. Oop. All right, both players on the same seed. Both players ready. Let's get them counted down for game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. All right, both players just kind of dealing with the early parts of the game, getting set up for a Tetris, sculpting that mountain. Although VasCo hanging that long bar on the left is going to need a pretty big 5-tap to get another one over, is currently just going to go in dig mode, and so it's going to take a little bit of pace away at the beginning of the game. Still waiting on a long bar for her Tetris. There it is. Whew. It's a little bit spicy there for VasCo, but dealt with it quite nicely. Now just needs to get the board back into a comfortable place. Maxx, on the other hand, textbook Tetris, right well. Hole in the stack, right as I say that, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too problematic, although has to close the well right as the long bar arrives. Gets it open as the next one arrives. Currently 58,000 points for Maxx, 61 for VasCo. So once again, VasCo ahead in lines. So Maxx with the slight pace advantage here. Kind of unfortunate piece sequence there for Maxx as he tried to clean up and get Tetris ready again, but gets it clean. We have a couple of unfortunate pieces there for Maxx, but very good decision making there to keep things nice and safe, nice and clean. And is now ready for the Tetris. Gets it. 115 for Maxx, 118 for VasCo. VasCo's board looking a little bit spicy. Getting a little bit high up. Now, would really like a long bar, but is going to plug it with a J piece. As I was looking at VasCo's board, Maxx's board in a little bit of trouble as well. Needs some good pieces. I think that was a misrotation of the J piece, and it looks like it's going to be over for Maxx at 119, giving game number 2 to VasCo, evening up the set 1-1, turning this best of 5 into a best of 3. Okay, both players are ready for game number 3, so let's get them counted down in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, let's see. Both players getting started out. VasCo with the first Tetris on the board. Maxx following up not soon after. Not soon? Not far after. But unfortunately has to close his well. And that spy's looking a little bit dicey. Especially for a DAS player. Is gonna create a long bar dependency. Really holding out for that long bar now, but is instead just going to plug it with a J piece. Gets a long bar to the right. VasCo's board also looking a little bit dicey. Well is closed on the left. So it's going to have to do a little bit of digging, and the pieces just aren't being super conducive to the situation that she's in. One more burn, though, will set her free. There it is. And a Tetris to VasCo, bringing her to 61,000 points to Maxx's 61. So neck and neck, both on points and lines. players now clean. And getting down Tetrises. Nice decision making there from Maxx to kind of deal with that frustrating piece sequence without taking too many burns. VasCo setting up in column 2, which you don't see very often. But gets the Tetris. Currently 164 for VasCo, 178 for Maxx. So Maxx pulling ahead here. Oh, a little bit of trouble on VasCo's board here. It's going to need to take a little bit of time to burn this out, although Maxx hangs a long bar on the left-hand side. Takes a couple of Tetrises to bring the board down, gets a long bar across to the left to stay alive, and is ready for another Tetris. Gets it. And is now out of the woods. See, this is what separates, you know, TNP players from Div 5 players. You know, it's the ability to get into a situation and get out of it quite efficiently, you know. Although, as I say that, VasCo gets into another little bit of a situation here. Kind of high up, and a little bit of a spy right there in the center. Needs to get it down. And is behind in points at 275 to Maxx's 347. We are approaching 100 lines, so both players need to start thinking about transition here. VasCo's board is not looking well equipped for it. Is getting some burns done. Nice T-tuck there from Maxx. But is currently double longbar dependent, and it looks like could be getting droughted slightly. Does get a longbar, but the board state is still a little bit of a tricky situation. Gets another longbar, and is going to bring it back down. Maxx. A little bit high up. The well is closed and behind a couple of lines of garbage. Gets it down. One more burn, and we'll be free. There it is. And is now once again clean. Gets a Tetris 409 for Maxx. 341 for VasCo. Oh, a little bit of trouble on VasCo's side. A couple of unfortunate pieces have forced her into a little bit of a dig, kind of high up. And transitions 352, still kind of high up, but gets that Tetris, right well Tetris. Letting her live another day. Maxx transitions 442. Hole in the bottom of his stack. Gets a couple of burns to try and get that hole out. There it is. And can now start to set up for Tetrises. 450 for Maxx, 412 for VasCo. VasCo is back to her iconic left wall Tetris. Gets one. 440 for her now. Right on Maxx's tail. Maxx in a little bit of trouble. Kind of high up, needs that longbar. There it is. And gets the board back down. VasCo continuing to go for these left wall Tetrises. Nice tuck, but unfortunately the hang of the J piece is going to cause a couple of issues for her. A little bit high up now. Needs to get something over left and can't do it, and is going to top out with 473,000 points, giving game number 3 to Maxx, putting him on match point. All right, both players on the same seed. Both players ready for game number 4. So let's get them counted down in 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Excuse me. I also didn't realize how... Ooh, a couple of misdrops there early on for Maxx. Gonna create a little bit of an early dig here, but let's see how he deals with it. VasCo also in a little bit of an early dig sequence, so both players having issues with their pace early on, which does kind of cancel out the issue. Thank you very much, Kofi. I honestly forgot I had that, and it kind of scared me. I thought it was a bot. Well, it is a bot, but it's my bot. Just catching up on the news of your max out. Hell yes, congrats. Thank you very much. I, like, before I left for AIE, I was getting, you know, like 800Ks a lot. I got a 900K. I was like, if I really push this and if I really like get a session going, I could max out, but I've got a pack for the trip. And so first thing I do when I get back is sleep. And then yesterday I set up a session and I started at like 8. And I took breaks, obviously, but all day I was grinding for the max out, and eventually I got it. It was kind of cheaty because I was going for like 600k transitions. And once you got like a 600k transition, you can kind of chill out on 19 and get a max. But getting that 600k transition was the tricky part. And also keeping it going. You thought you were going to be in a race with me? No. I'm going to be honest, Gert, like, all of the people that I was in a race with got a max out already, and they're now rollers, and are really fucking good at the game. Welcome in, Brett QK, saying, let's go, Maxx. Because I've been going at this since 2019. Anyway, let's do a score update. Maxx, 202, VasCo, 204. Very close in score and pace. I'm also just realizing I thought my voice was back and fine. It is not. My voice is still kind of raspy, and I can't get full power after screaming at AIE Live. But it was so much fun. I said this at the tournament, but genuinely best day of my life. Both players here passing the halfway point to level 19. Maxx with 278, VasCo 322. So Maxx trailing behind a little bit by about 2 Tetrises. With that, Tetris will bring it back down to a singular Tetris deficit. And there we go, we're neck and neck. VasCo sticking with the left well. Gets a Tetris. Hope to get it this year, but we'll see. The 800 keys are coming more frequent, but post 19 still feels really tough sometimes. What I did, and like take this with a fucking boulder of salt, you know, not a grain. Like the actual rocks that you get salt from, take it with one of those, right? But I kind of exclusively, apart from like playing in comp, exclusively practiced on 19 for a while. And just like hit my head against that fucking wall until finally it kind of clicked for me. DAS 19 is definitely one of those things where it takes a while, but when it clicks, it does click. Yeah, look a salt lamp. Tastes very good. 467 for VasCo, 444 for Maxx. Nobody say it. I don't want to hear it. As both players approach the 19 transition here. 121 lines for VasCo, 118 for Maxx. It's a very close game. So it's going to come down to who can play 19 for longer and more efficiently, perhaps. It's worth noting, VasCo is a roller. Maxx is a dasser. So VasCo will keep a little bit more of the mobility on 19, whereas Maxx just doesn't have as much, so needs to play a little bit more carefully. Having said that, Max's DAS control has been really good so far. Maxx transitions 527. I didn't see what VasCo's transition score is, but currently at level 20 with 644. Maxx up a little bit high, getting a couple of good burns there to bring it down. Gets a Tetris. Is trailing behind VasCo a little bit here. 560 for Maxx, 699 for VasCo. It's got a little bit of a catch up here to do. Gets another Tetris. But VasCo not letting up pressure here. Wants to force that game number 5, that decider. And, I mean, really good pace right now. 763 at level 23. Maxx getting a little bit high up. Just getting some good burns. 603 for Maxx, 795 for VasCo. So, certainly a bit of a point differential to make up. Maxx really just wants VasCo to misdrop or get into a really big dig at this point. VasCo did indeed misdrop, but cleans it up pretty much immediately. Currently 832 at level 25 to Max's 616 at level 24. Oh, and a couple of misdrops there for Maxx. It's getting a little bit high. And, oh, yeah, it's looking like it's going to be over for Maxx at 618. VasCo, if you want to keep this game going, I say go for it. $902 at level 26. I mean, like, you've got to keep going. There it is, the max out A26. And that is also going to be game 4 to VasCo. Forcing game number 5, or say it with me now, decider. Usually I like to get a little bit of a rasp in my voice there, but I just don't have it. It's gone. I've screamed too much at AIE. Let's see, both players on the same seed. Both players ready. Let's get them counted down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Let's see what happens in this game. It is the decider. VasCo's board looking a little bit tricky. Needs to get a couple of good burns. Max's board, on the other hand, is looking nice and clean. Textbook gameplay there from Maxx. Nice T-tuck. Gets a Tetris. 48,000 for Maxx. 10,000 for VasCo. The well is back open for her. But unfortunately has to burn and close the well before the long bar arrives. So it's going to be a little bit more time until her first Tetris, but is ready once again. Waiting on that long bar. There it is. Tetris for VasCo. And there's another Tetris for both players. 68,000 point for VasCo, 150 for Maxx. Currently leading by a fair margin here, putting the pressure on VasCo. Really making her fight for any win here. Although currently in a little bit of a situation, a little bit high up. Although gets the well back open and gets the Tetris forced to create a hole in the stack. But is going to deal with it with that long bar and T-piece. Very nice piece sequence for that build. We're nearing the halfway point now. We've got Maxx at 250, VasCo at 207. So VasCo has actually taken back some of the lead here. It does have a little bit more work to do. Has the well back open, waiting on the long bar. There it is. There's a Tetris for VasCo. Maxx currently in a little bit of a situation here, looking a little bit holy. Might take a little bit of time to dig out, which is exactly what VasCo needs to try and take this lead back now. Gets a Tetris and another one. 283 for Maxx, 304 for VasCo. With that Tetris, will now tie with VasCo, 305 to 304. So it is neck and neck. Near simultaneous Tetris there. If only there's a way of shortening that sentence. little bit of a troublesome situation for VasCo. Gets the well clear a little bit. Gets it back open. Tetris ready once again, but it has allowed Maxx to take back the lead for 19 for Maxx to VasCo's 384. Although Maxx has a couple of holes in the stack, needs to dig them out before more Tetrises can happen for him. A little bit of an unfortunate square piece there, but deals with it. Gets the well back open, gets the Tetris. We're now rapidly approaching the 19 transition. Maxx at 448, VasCo at 429. VasCo keeping it clean. Maxx with a fair few holes in the stack here. Looks like could be setting up for a dirty Cinnamon Tetris, but just doesn't get the pieces for it, and is now in a little bit of a sticky situation here. Needs to get this board down. That long bar's going to help. VasCo transitions 487, Maxx transitions 464. VasCo back in the lead. Clean board for VasCo. Maxx also finally gets clean, but unfortunately a couple of unfortunate pieces are going to cause him to have to dig a little bit longer, but gets it open once again. Now can start building for some Tetrises. With a situation here for VasCo, dependent in the center. It's going to plug it up. And this is the real benefit of rolling that we're seeing here from VasCo, is the ability to get into situations like that and get out of them. Where with DAS, you will find it will be a lot trickier and in some cases impossible to get out of situations that rollers can get out of. And of course, the DAS defender point of view would be, well, simply don't get in those situations. But, you know, the Tetris gods are evil. Either way, Maxx has taken the lead with VasCo still kind of stuck in the stig. Maxx with 621,000 points to VasCo's 564. VasCo's board is getting a little bit dicey once again. Gets that longbow, which is really going to help things, and that J piece, and the L. Nearly clean, or could choose to build dirty, which is what she's going to do. She knows she's behind in points here, and is going to take the Tetris to 610 to Maxx's 684. Or a couple of misdrops there for VasCo. Board is really falling apart now for her. Oh, a couple of misdrops there from Maxx. Somehow keeps it together. 726 for Maxx, and that's how he's going to top out. 726. So VasCo, you've got to chase down. 727 is your target. 727,000 points is on level 27. So only so much time, and I don't know what her ability is on level 29. Does look like it's going to misdrop that longbow, but gets the other longbow down. 696,000 points. Nearly there, 704. Very, very close. Looks like potentially might need a little bit of level 29, and is quite high up here. 713. 718, 719. Couple of burns will do it, but can't get anything over the left, and it's going to top out with 720,000 points, giving game number 5 and the set to Maxx. Incredible. Congratulations to Max. Commiserations to Vasco. You both played incredibly well. I have been Alice Fern. Another plug. I have affiliate. Please subscribe if you do not want to see ads. Throw me bits if you want to give me money. Although, if you would prefer not to support Jeff Bezos and give him even more money than he already has, I have a Ko-fi. Ko-fi.com/AliceFern. Where you can give me money if you would like to. Absolutely zero pressure. I have been Alice Fern. I hope everyone has a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. Good night.
You're so
oh, whoa, okay, hang on. No, I can't leave yet. Gert, thank you very much for the subscription. With Prime. Anyway, night-night.